Hello and welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards, because Commander's number one. I'm joined with Sherman and Slothy. Sherman, how you doing?
I was doing good until you showed us the deck that we're talking about. Now I'm not so good.
That is fair. I will give everyone that warning that is fair. I respect that opinion, and I think most people will agree.
Slothy, how you doing?
Oh, I am all right. It was a bit of a week, but we're here talking about cards now. I woke up in a really good mood, saw this deck. Less so. So thank you, Dan. How are you doing today?
I'm not so bad. I don't think you guys. I like you guys, so you probably haven't played against my version of this deck. I made a budget version of it to see if I could chill the deck down a little bit. But I'm good, by the way. My leg's still broken, and because of that, I've taken the time, because I never have any time off. I was like, why don't I use this time to organize my cards? Which I never get to do. I have so many decks, and scanning all these decks is crazy. So I've scanned 300 new decks, and I should really start uploading them to Architect, but I don't have time to do that yet. But because my leg's broken and I've been just chilling at home, I've gone through my decks, and for a long time, we've talked lately about how my building style has really, really chilled out. I've calmed down with a bunch of it, and this is a deck that harkens back to the not calmed down days. This is one of my most expensive in paper decks. It's we're not doing the full version of it. I'm not gonna be like, hey guys, build this $9,000 deck. I was making the joke earlier that I need to get affiliate links for the hey, buy this, or you got to go to Abyss Proxy Shop. Really, really hook us up with that. Promo code IT99. Just saying. But yeah, so this is it's one of my dumbest decks that I've ever made. The whole point of my deck is it's my skip my turns deck. It's everyone else takes deck turns, and everyone, it's a unique concept, and everyone's always like, oh, that sounds really fun, and they play it and they're like, that wasn't that fun.
It's not fun.
That was less fun. It's it's a pretty fun deck. So it's based on Kenrith. I'm gonna pull up the obviously card of Kenrith. Kenrith, I think, is just still the best 5-color commander for this kind of deck. Golos could have been nice with it, but you kind of need Kenrith's abilities. Kenrith has great abilities, and I don't even think we've done a Kenrith deck on the channel before, but I have 13 Kenrith decks. I really, really like building Kenrith. I got Kenrith humans. I got Kenrith knights. I have Kenrith skip my turns. I now have a second Kenrith skip my turns. I've got a group hug Kenrith. I've got a lot of Kenriths. But Kenrith is 4 and a white for 5/5 human noble that has 5 abilities. The first one costs a red. All creatures gain trample and haste until end of turn. That's actually relevant in the deck because we're not playing on our turn, so usually it doesn't really matter if people get haste and stuff. I like to speed everyone else's stuff up. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Kenrith can get really big if we need. Or, again, we can use these abilities to politics. 2 and a white, target player gains 5 life, which is, in my experience, that's the word. Hard to get to. It's the best, it's the best politics you can do. A lot of people are getting hit for stuff. Giving people 5 life really, really does buy some favors. 3 and a blue, target player draws a card. That's going to be usually us. We want to draw as much as we can, but again, the same thing, politics. And then I think the most political part of it is 4 and a black. You put target creature from a graveyard onto the battlefield under its owner's control, which really, really can make you great friends. If somebody's killing your opponent's creatures and stuff, and you know that Sherman's a problem all the time, Sherman builds creatively. You could say, you know what, Sherman, I'll give your stuff back. Just leave Kenrith alone. You have to set your board up nicely before people know what you're doing in a deck like this, because they're not going to like what you're doing. They're just not going to enjoy it. This is we were talking right before we started. My actual version of the extra turns deck has the highest salt score I've seen in a deck. It's 70. Don't do that. Don't play like that. But this one's lower. I think it's 45. So let's get into I want to skip that first section. Let me get down to for the lands and stuff. I have nothing really important in these lands. A Reliquary Tower is kind of nice, but nothing's great. Heliod's Generosity is probably our most expensive land in the deck, which is just putting enchantments back on top so we can keep drawing them if we lose them, because we're pretty enchantment heavy. I want to skip the annoying stuff section. So that's a huge section. Wow. All right. Okay, so I have to skip the biggest section. I'll start
How about we start as ramp first?
Let's start in ramp. Okay. I'll start. I want to do our color fixing part too. So for the color fixing, I have a chromatic lantern. If you can afford a guild pack of land on the guild pack, it's great. It can start in and fix all your problems, but this is probably the cheapest budget option, and it kind of goes into ramp because it is still a rock. 3 mana for chromatic lantern. Lands you control have tap to add 1 mana of any color, and then you can tap it for 1 mana. Now let's get into ramp. Where is my ramp section? Wow, I've got a lot of dumb sections in here. Whew, all right, into our ramp. There we go.
Fozzie, you want to take it?
Sure. First one we've got here is Arcane Signet. 2 mana. You can tap it for 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity.
5 color. That's great.
Fun times. I like the new one you have here for the Duskmourn.
Oh, I know.
I like that a lot.
I want to pick a bunch of these ones up. They look so cool.
Next one we have here is going to be Cultivate for 2 and a green. Sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards and put one onto the battlefield and the other one in your hand. Then shuffle your library.
Yeah. I don't know. Every deck that has green, I put Cultivate in. There's probably better stuff. Yeah. Farseek searches us anything, plains, island, swamp, mountain. I don't have like dual things in here, but a really, really great upgrade for this deck is the like Call Time Snow Duels. They're pretty nice stuff.
Then we've got Felwar Stone, 2 mana for an artifact. Tap to add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. In a 5 color deck, that doesn't really hinder you in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it kind of helps you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have a Ketria Crystal for 3 mana artifact. Tap to add either a green, a blue, or a red, and it has a cycle of 2.
I love the crystals. They're great mana rocks.
Crystals are fun, though.
Yeah. We have Mindstone because Mindstone's so cheap right now, and it's just very simple draw if you need it late game, or really, really early cheap mana. Our Commander's 5, we kind of want to get it out fast. 2 colorless, you tap it for 1 colorless, or you can pay 1 and sack it to draw a card. Good early, good late.
Yeah. Then we've got our good old Soul Ring, 1 mana, tap for 2.
I have to say, that's the coolest looking Soul Ring. I love it so much. The Duskmourn one?
Cool looking Soul Ring, and the flavor text is really funny too.
Go on.
So, yeah. The flavor text, we're looking at the new Duskmourn, or for anyone that's listening. So it says, I'm not saying I'm sure it's a trap. I'm just saying it wasn't there yesterday, and I'm pretty sure I heard it whisper my name. If you're so curious, you touch it.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I like that.
It really reminds me. I've been watching. Again, I'm off work, bored, out of my mind. But I've been watching that Delicious in a Dungeon show, and there's a thing where he goes into the paintings. That's it's a really entertaining show.
Oh yes,
yeah,
that was a fun one.
I've been having a really good laugh at that one for sure.
Next,
yeah, you're on Talisman.
Next one here we have is Talisman of Conviction for 2 mana artifact. Tap to add a colorless, or you can tap it to add a red or a white, and it deals 1 damage to you.
Well, we have life gain in the command zone. We're okay.
Yeah, we're fine.
We have the same with Talisman of Curiosity. A 2 mana taps for a colorless, or 1 green, 1 blue. We really want to open the game with some of these. Like an ideal hand is a Soul Ring, a Signet, and 2 lands. Then we're in a great mood. Kenrith turn 2. Let's go.
Then we've got the Talisman of Impulse, which is the same thing, just red and green.
Then we have the Talisman of Resilience for 2 mana artifact. Tap for colors, and you can tap for damage for a black or green.
I've got to say quickly, these were my favorite reprints recently. Conviction, 49 cents. Curiosity, 69 cents. Impulse, 99 cents. Resilience, 49. Our next one, 79 cents. These are great rocks that were reprinted. They were so expensive for so long. Like $3-4 each for cheap ramp was rough.
And that's the thing. They need to reprint the other ones. Like, I think Talisman of Creativity is still like a $2 to $3 card right now.
Yeah, there's 1 or 2 of them that are really, really annoying.
Yeah.
The next one we had was that Talisman. Dominance. I think it was Doctor Who.
I think that one's still up there too.
Doctor Who's what brought down the price, right?
A little bit.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have this Talisman of Unity. 2 colorless for, again, a tap 1, and then this one is Selesnya. So 1 damage for a green or a white. Not bad.
Then we've got Tempt with Discovery. It's 3 and a green for a sorcery. It's got Tempting Offer. Search your library for a land card and put it on the battlefield. Each opponent may search their library for a land card and put it on the battlefield. And for each opponent who searches a library this way, search library for a land card and put it on the battlefield. Then each player who searched shuffles.
I'm not saying it's a group hug deck, but it could be a group hug deck.
It's group hug adjacent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Group hug adjacent.
Okay, last one we have here is going to be Wilderness Reclamation for 3 and a green. Enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, untap all lands you control. Fun card.
Yeah,
card.
We want to spam Kenrith's ability as much as we can, right? So,
yeah.
A great one for this with how much mana rock ramp we have is like an unwinding clock. Because we have, what is it, like, I think 12 rocks, 13 rocks, something like that. It's a fair bit.
Pretty good.
Yeah, right? Let's do my...
yeah.
Well, yeah, because there's a few others in other spots. So I'm revealing things. Mm-hmm. Oh, no. There we go. That's still the wrong thing. Well, people on the video are going to see a few things.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Let's get to the things that... The deck is about skipping our turns. So let's do our skip our turns section next.
Okay.
We have 2 ways of skipping our turn in this. Number 1 is we're going to give other people turns because I think that's funny. And then casting extra turn cards without targeting yourself is entertaining. No one ever expects that. You got to keep everyone guessing. And then the other one is we are just going to raw skip our turns. So I will let, I start this section. Yes. So we have Beacon of Tomorrows, which is 6 double blue. Target player takes an extra turn. You shuffle it in after you're done. You could, I guess technically nothing stops you from taking an extra turn, but that's not the point of this deck. The point of this deck is really quickly before we get into I made this deck so I could play Clash of Clans while I was playing. That's the whole point of this deck, so that I can sit there and play Clash of Clans on the side because I used to play I used to really spam attacks. So this is my Clash of Clans deck. So the point is to not have a turn. We still play a little bit on other people's turns, but we don't want a turn.
Fair enough. One that does skip your turn, however, is Chronotog. 1 and a blue for a 1/2 a Tog. Skip your next turn, and Chronotog gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Use this ability only once each turn.
It's so fun in a commander thing because we can skip our turn 3 times every go around. We should never have to get another turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chronotog is our like MVP card of the deck. We want that card out as fast as possible, and then we want to protect it.
And then if we do lose it, we have the next one, which is Chronotog Totem. So for 3 mana, artifact, tap it for a blue, or you can tap 1 and a blue, and it becomes a 1/2 blue Atog artifact creature token until end of turn. And for 0 mana, once again, the totem gets +3/+3 until end of turn. You skip your next turn, play this ability only once each turn, and only if the totem is a creature.
It's a dumb card. But
Such a dumb card.
Like I said, it's an extra mana rock. We do have more ramp.
True.
We have Eater of Days. It's a 4 mana 9/8 flying trampler. When it comes into play, you skip your next 2 turns.
So stupid.
Yeah.
79 cents. Skip our turn.
Then we have Karn's Temporal Sundering. 4 double blue for a legendary sorcery. Target player takes an extra turn after this one. Return up to 1 target non-land permanent to his owner's hand, and then exile Karn's Temporal Sundering. The art on this one has always remained one of my favorites.
Hands down.
Every time we look at like cards like this, like up close, right? Like I'm on like a big 3-screen setup, right? So like it's but looking at cards on a computer screen is so much different than holding it in your hand. And there's so many cards that just look so cool. Like I would love like a big table play out of the Temporal Sundering.
Yeah, like you just notice all the little details when you're looking on a computer screen.
Yeah, it's the same even with that Eater of Days and stuff, right? Like that's just like such a cool.
Yeah,
it's very nicely drawn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, we got Lethal Vapors for 2 double black. It's an enchantment. Whenever a creature comes into play, destroy it. For 0 mana, you can destroy the Lethal Vapors. You skip your next turn. Any player may play this ability. This is a fun card.
You can pay that as many times as you want. I can be like, I'm going to activate this 13 times. A pass priority.
Yeah.
Other people could also just say, I'm going to do it 13 times, and then we all just collectively skip 13 turns. But that we have a way to make it like a pretty fun. There's a little combo in the deck where basically we in the more fancier version of the deck, you do something like a Teferi's Protection, and you have a Grand Abolisher out. There's a Grand Abolisher in this list too. Spoiler. But you just do that, and then you skip 100 turns and just say, okay, pass. You guys play for second. I'm going to play Clash of Clans. That's how you got to say it.
I'm trying to get up to Master League. You guys do your thing.
Exactly. You get it. Lethal Vapors is a dumb card.
Sorry, kind of on that note of you talking about Teferi, card name slipping my brain right now. A nice budget. Yes, that one. Thank you. A nice budget include could be Perch Protection.
Oh, trust me, Perch Protection's in here. Don't you worry about that. We're gifting.
We're getting there.
Yeah. It'll be there.
Good.
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 Our next
That's
one.
what I like to hear.
Our next one is a dumb card. It's Meditate. It is an instant. 2 and a blue. You skip your next turn and you draw 4 cards. Pretty good in our list.
And the final one in this section here is Water Spout Elemental. 3 double blue for an elemental with kicker for a blue. And it's a 3/4. It's got flying. And when it comes into play, if you pay the kicker cost, return all other creatures to their owner's hand, and you skip your next turn.
Stupid. I hate this card. Hate it
kind of dumb, right? We have Cyclonic Rift at home.
We have Psych Rift at home.
Yeah, right? Let's do our next section. Let's do what's right under it. So let's do things for playing on other people's turns, because we are...
Oh, okay, I see it.
Yeah, we're skipping things, yeah. I've got too many sections in this deck. I'm so sorry. I've got to alphabetize these.
No, it's all good. So, what we can do, or here, you know what? We'll cover this outside of the show. Never mind.
Okay.
I'm going to start off here with Awakening for 2 double green. Enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, untap all creatures and lands.
That's going to be like one of the best cards in the deck for us if we're skipping our turns, because then we still can use Kenrith's ability every turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is such a scary card. Every time I see someone play it, I'm just like, oh, crap.
Normally it only goes into decks if people are going to be annoying.
Yeah.
I've never played it in a not annoying deck. Like, it's always in like a Rash Me list or something like that, where I'm just constantly like playing instants and sorceries every turn. Like, it's really annoying usually.
They need to reprint this.
I agree. It's one of the more expensive ones in this list. We have Leyline of Anticipation because we still want to play cards. Just because it's not our turn doesn't mean we don't want to play stuff. You know?
Having flash is nice.
Yeah, 2 double blue. Mm-hmm. If it's in your opening hand, you can begin with it on the battlefield. You may cast spells with a flash. There's a few ley lines in here. You could, if you Guild Pack's not in here, but if you had Guild Pack and stuff, there's like 3 or 4 ley lines in this deck. You could have a crazy turn 1, like 13 mana hand.
Jeez.
Yeah. Get mental misstepped. Oh no, wait, that's power 1. We'll get to it. Who is next on our list? With this is also a really cool card.
It is I. So we got Psychic Possession, 2 double blue for an aura. Enchant opponent, skip your draw step. Whenever enchanted opponent draws a card, you may draw a card.
I think it's pretty cool.
That's nice.
Yeah.
We still
play that, and I'll play like Plagiarize, where you draw anytime you would draw a card, I would draw a card instead.
Yeah, right. There's you can do like, because Kenrith is already making us draw, right? We can still just draw for ourselves, but again, we can spread that group hug around with whoever we want, right? Then it can just turn into Kenrith makes it so you draw, I draw, right? I can make my new alliance. Sherman, please leave my stuff alone.
Yeah.
Stop bringing answers to the table. I don't like it.
That's the best way to play. Always have answers for everything. Actually, that's one of the most annoying things at the same time, because then everyone in your play group plays with less interaction, so they always look to you for the interaction, and it's just so frustrating at times.
You get bullied into being the table police because you're the only one who builds that way.
Yeah.
All gasoline for me.
All right, we have here is Teferi, who slows the sunset. For 2 and a white and a blue, legendary planeswalker Teferi comes in with 4 loyalty. For the +1, choose up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target creature, and up to 1 target land. Untap the chosen permanents you control. Tap the chosen permanents you don't control, you gain 2 life. For a -2, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And then, its ultimate, -7. You get an emblem with untap all permanents you control during each opponent's untap step, and you draw a card during each opponent's draw step.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad at all for only a $4 Planeswalker.
Oh, I know. There's some really, really cheap Planeswalkers in here that really do some cool stuff in this, but yeah, the extra draw, the extra untap, it's all helping us out really, really good. You could I've got a lot of Planeswalkers in this list, so you could put some proliferation stuff in here. Pretty good. Again, I tried to keep it mostly budget. That you can only mostly budget a deck that's that expensive so much. So it's upgradable. It's not a crazy expensive deck in this form. It's, I think, like 130 some bucks. But yeah, I tried my best. The next section is toxic cards that we are not really affected by. So I'm going to start us off with that Grand Abolisher. That's one of the combos. We can, like I said, just skip 100 turns in a row. If you don't have something that protects you, it's not a great combo, because then you just are going to get attacked while you skip your 100 turns. People are going to kill you, right? So, but it's still fun. You still got to put it in every now and then. It's a double white 2/2 human cleric. During your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. And that's really only in there for the lethal vapors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, this is a fun one. Next up, we've got Havoc Festival. 4 black and a red for an enchantment. Players can't gain life. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player loses half of their life rounded up. I really like that. I like this inclusion in this deck.
Yeah, right. We don't care. Oh no.
Yeah.
I'll lose half my life.
You don't get an upkeep.
Yeah, right.
All right. The next one here is going to be Magus of the Abyss for 3 and a black. Creature, human, wizard. For 4/3. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, destroy target non-artifact creature that player controls of their choice. It cannot be regenerated.
It's really annoying. It's a
so
good one.
Annoying.
It's pretty funny. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, right. There's some pretty cool cheap cards in this list. The next one is another super obnoxious card. No one is going to enjoy if you play this. These are all humans, by the way. This is technically a human list so far. Mages of the Tabernacle, 3 and a white. Human wizard. All creatures have at the beginning of your upkeep sack it unless you pay 1. Man, that's an annoying card. I love it so much. What's our next section that we've got? We've done our skip our turns. Let's do this one. I keep talking about Kenrith's costs, so we'll talk about the reducing Kenriths.
Sure. The first one we've got in this section is Biomancer's Familiar, green and a blue for 2/2 mutant. Activated abilities of creatures you control cost 2 less to activate. This effect can't reduce the amount of mana an ability costs to activate to less than 1 mana, and you can tap it the next time target creature adapts this turn. It adapts as though it had no +1/+1 counters on it.
A good card. I like it.
I love how cheap this section is. There's 5 cards in this reduction. It's an $11 section to do things like our commander has 5 abilities, right? So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next one we have here is going to be Heartstone for 3 mana. It's an artifact. The cost of each creature's ability requiring an activation cost is reduced by 1. This cannot reduce an ability mana cost to less than 1.
Ideally, we want to get to that pay 1 blue to draw a card. That's a great static ability.
Yeah.
If we could get to the pay 1 black to reanimate creatures, again, we can make a lot of friends.
That's just so gross.
Make a lot
True.
It's pretty cool, right? We have Rowan Kenrith. It is 4 double. I was going to say green, double red, double a different color green. It's a 4 loyalty planeswalker. So we have +2 during target player's next turn. Each creature attacks if able. That's okay. -2, 3 damage to each tapped creature. So it can serve as like a little bit of a board wipe for us, because 3 damage is a fair bit if somebody swings out. But its great ability is the -8. Target creature or target player gets an emblem with whenever you activate an ability that isn't a mana ability, copy it. You can choose new targets.
That's solid.
Yeah. We can technically get that emblem more than once if we keep Rowan going.
Yeah.
But there's minus the trample one. There's literally not one of those we wouldn't want to double up if we could. Paying 3 to give people 10 life, or 4 to draw 2 cards. Not horrible. Not horrible abilities.
Yeah. 2 mana to put 2 +1/+1 counters on.
Oh yeah, Kenrith gets huge.
Ooh, no thanks.
Next up, we've got Training Grounds. It is a single blue for an enchantment. Activated abilities: creatures you control cost 2 less to activate. Can't reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1.
Good card. Good card.
Yeah.
Oh, next one. Zerda, the Dawnwaker.
Love Zerda.
So many bad memories.
Yeah, Zerda's one of my competitive decks.
I built a competitive Zerda as well. It was stupid. But let's go over Zerda real fast here. So it's gonna be 1 in hybrid Boros. So and then going to be legendary creature elemental fox 3/3. Has companion. Each permanent card in your starting deck has an activate ability. We don't care about that. It's in the deck. So abilities to activate that aren't mana abilities cost 2 less to activate. This effect can't reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1 mana. And you can tap 1 and tap it, and target creature can't block this turn. Zerda, I remember when we first looked at Zerda from Ikoria, and we called it, this was a broken card because you can go infinite easily.
Oh, and so easy, yep.
Yeah. And one of the stupid things I did with it was that's when I threw in Aladdin's Lamp into the deck, because when you have infinite mana and you're about to draw, you just tap Aladdin's Lamp, and now it's a tutor, so you can grab anything in your deck at any time you draw a card. It is so stupid. I had to take apart my Zerda because of that.
I have a few Zerda lists. I've got it's a Zerda equipment deck where Zerda's the command. Being able to equip for 2 less is really good. It's a really good ability.
Good. Mm-hmm.
What do we have for our other sections here? We're getting close to it. I've got pretty bad protection stuff. It's a Daniel deck, so you guys get what you get. My protection stuff is not good. I'll start us off with Carvanista, Loyal Lupari. It's 4 and a green for an alien dog soldier that's Vigilance, Trample, Haste, 5/5. Whenever Carvanista attacks, you put a 1/1 counter on each human you control. So far, like I said, they are all humans. This does work. But we actually care the most about this ability right here, Lupari Shield. 1 and a green. It's humans you control gain indestructible until your next turn. And if I'm skipping my turn, that's really annoying. Having Magus of the Tabernacle be because again, the Magus is a destroy effect. Oh no, Magus is a sacrifice. Sorry, and yeah, Abyss is the destroy effect. So again, we are able to keep our things that way, but just having our humans be indestructible is obnoxious. People are going to want to kill Kenrith, and if people kill Kenrith not on your turn, that's going to hurt. That's going to make you sad.
Yeah.
This is also it's just such a stupid looking card. I love it so much.
The alien dog soldier.
It's just one of the dumbest looking cards I've ever seen, and it just goes so hard. I would love to make but mono green humans. I don't know. It can't be that good, Maybe
not.
I do like jank stuff then, but again, it's pretty silly. It's just a dumb card, and it's in this list solely to protect Kenrith.
Fair.
We'll be right back.
Do you like video games, podcasts, and reminiscing? I'm actor, video game writer, and total sweetie pie Connor Savage McCabe, and on each episode of Call Me By Your Game, I sit down with a guest for an intimate look at a special game from their past. Did you and your dad beat Spyro the Dragon over the holidays? Or was Halo 4 the one thing that united your roommates during your senior year of college? Stories like these are what Call Me By Your Game is about. From video game content creator Janet Garcia to Hades voice actor Courtney Vinay's, I interview wonderful comedians and game industry friends about these memories. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and maybe someday you'll call me by your game.
Fair. Then we've got the Leyline of Singularity, 2 double blue for an enchantment. If it is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it in play, and all non-land permanents are legendary.
Yeah.
I love this card. It's so good. Underplayed.
I think we only have one more section before our big one.
End their turn?
I believe so.
Yeah. This is for if people are getting a little out of pocket on their turn.
All right. So we have first one here. Discontinuity. So something like that. Discontinuity. Thank you.
It's early.
So 3 and a triple blue is an instant. As long as it's your turn. This spell costs 2 and double blue less to cast, and you end the turn.
Yeah, we're mostly going to do it on other people's turn. We also have a glorious end. That's obnoxious. 2 and a red end the turn. It's an instant. At the beginning of your next end step, you lose the game. We just hopefully don't get to that end step.
Well, you're skipping your turn, right? So it never matters.
Yeah. I skip 10 turns. Ending someone's turn with a glorious end is so annoying. Especially because it takes everything that's on the stack off the stack when you end the turn that way. Exiles all spells and abilities from the stack, including the card. Ooh, that's rough.
Then we have Time Stop. 4 double blue for an instant, and the turn.
That's really cool artwork, the Time Stop.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
The one of my favorite combinations is there's a split card, and I can't remember what it is right now. It's not a split card, it's a split second. Give me 2 seconds here. I have to. It's one of my favorite things, but the name is sudden substitution. So if you sudden substitution something with Glorious End, it's really hilarious because you cast Glorious End, which ends the turn, and then at the end step they lose, and you exchange sudden substitution exchanges control of target non-creature spell and a creature. So you just give them, you take their creature, you give them Glorious End, so they have a turn to live. So it's, I think, hilarious. I'm a good person. You guys have to believe me.
Sure.
You have to believe me, please. All right, let's get into I believe this is our final section.
Yeah, the meat and potatoes.
The meat and potatoes of the deck. And I'll let Sherman both start it and say what the name of the section is.
Well, let's see here. We have, all I see is annoying things until our next, and I'm guessing turn.
Yeah.
Which, since we're skipping our turn, this will never hit us. So, we are starting off with a Conjurer's Ban. So, for a white and a black, it's a sorcery. You name a card. Until your next turn, the named card can't be played. Draw a card.
When we don't take a turn for like 7 turns, the until your next turn effects are going to be very, very annoying. They're really, really going to... People don't realize how long it takes to get to my next turn if I'm skipping my turn 3 times a go around.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pretty obnoxious ones. I'll hit our next one here. It is a Disrupt Decorum. Another until my next turn thing. So 2 double red. Goad all creatures you don't control, which is until my next turn. Those creatures attack each combat if able and attack players other than me. One problem with it is that they attack a player other than you if able. So if everyone else is dead and they're still goaded and you're not back at your turn, they are going to have to attack you. You can't even be like, please no.
I mean, even if you were to say please no, I don't know if they'd listen.
Please no. I haven't had a turn in 13 minutes, guys.
Next up, we've got Dovin Bond. 2 white and a blue for a 3 loyalty planeswalker Dovin. +1 until your next turn. Up to 1 target creature gets -3/-0 and its activated abilities can't be activated. As -1 is you gain 2 life and draw a card. And -7, you get an emblem with your opponents can't untap more than 2 permanents during untap steps.
Every part of that card sucks in our deck. It's mean.
It's such an annoying card. So annoying.
Locking down someone's activated abilities for like an indefinite amount of time is crazy.
Yeah.
Especially if they're playing like a Marwyn deck, like a Sovala deck, kind of something like that.
Something that kind of relies on those abilities.
One where an ability matters. Rough. Like it in a worst case, it's a life gain, and that the stacks emblem at the bottom, you're not gonna have friends if you cast that. That's crazy. That one, it's not nice.
You'll rarely get there, but that's okay.
People are gonna attack that one.
Yeah. Speaking of Dovin, we have the next one is also Dovin, Hand of Control for 2 and a Azorius. So a white or blue. Legendary Planeswalker Dovin comes in with 5 loyalty. He has the ability of artifacts, instants, and sorcery spells your opponent's control or opponent's cast, cost 1 more to cast. And for a -1, until your next turn, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you and dealt by target permanent an opponent controls. Ooh, mouthful.
Yeah, it's really good on a Voltron.
Yeah, that's so sick.
Oh, it's there's a few that are pretty good. The next one kind of goes in other parts of the list too a little bit, but it's Eon Frolicker. It's 2 double blue for a 5/5 elemental otter with flying. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, target opponent takes an extra turn after this one. It's doing what we want. Until your next turn, you and planeswalkers you control gain protection from that player, which makes it impossible for them to kill us, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Until our next turn, they can't hurt us. And we have a lot of planeswalkers on the list, so that also matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we've got Forbidding Spirit. 1 double white for a 3/3 Spirit Cleric. When it enters the battlefield, until your next turn, creatures can attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller pays 2 for each of those creatures.
So annoying. So annoying.
You will respect the dead.
You will respect the dead.
So annoying.
I'm a fan of this list so far.
That's because you're the one that's playing it. We have to go against it. Of course, you're a fan of it. It's so annoying.
I love this silly list so much.
All right, we have the next card here. Then our Planeswalker is going to be Gideon of the Trials for a 1 double white. Planeswalker Gideon. So it comes in with 3 loyalty counters. For a +1, until your next turn, prevent all damage to target permanent would deal. For 0, until end of turn, Gideon of the Trials becomes a 4/4 human soldier creature with indestructible and is still a planeswalker. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to him this turn. And then for another 0, you get an emblem with, as long as you control a Gideon planeswalker, you can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game. That's the one that's the problem.
It's really funny if you have the Eon Frolicker too and people just can't get rid of Gideon. I love it so much. Oh, I love it so much. It's such a dumb list. We have Hope of Juriper next. It is a 1 mana legendary artifact creature Thopter, a 1/1 flyer. You sack Hope of Juriper. Until your next turn, target player who was dealt combat damage by Hope of Juriper this turn can't cast non-creature spells. That can ruin the game for people.
Yeah.
There's a lot
in a heartbeat.
There's a lot of decks that need to cast non-creature spells. Like this deck, which has like pretty much no creature spells in the list. It's this one has, hang on here. Let me look. This deck has 17 creatures total. You would fully ruin everything this deck is trying to do with that card. I think
so take notes, people.
Yeah, take notes.
Next up we've got Inaction Injunction. 1 and a blue for a sorcery. Detain target creature an opponent controls and draw a card.
That's so annoying. Detain it. It's like, you'll never get it back because I'll never get back to my turn.
Yeah. The detain is until your next turn. They can't attack, block, or use activated abilities.
Oh, I'm so happy about this next card. Next card is Island Sanctuary for 1 and a white. Enchantment. Keep drawing a card until the beginning of your next turn. Only creatures with flying or island walk can attack you. Use this ability only during your draw phase and only once each turn. I love this card. I used to combine this with the green one where it makes like the 5/5 worms or whatever.
The Sandworm Convergence, yeah.
Yes, that one.
That's good.
So
card.
And then the only people that could attack me are the ones that had island walk, and that was it.
Oh yeah, because creatures all lose flying, right?
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, Island Walk's not common enough to be a thing. Someone in the comment section is going to be like, well, my deck's time to shine.
Yeah. So the fun thing is if you're playing that in band and then you have things like with that changes the color of the cards. So like you're saying like, okay, like Sleight of Mind, for example.
Yep.
So it says like if someone does have Island Walk, like okay, cast Sleight of Mind on your Island Sanctuary, change Island Walk to like Forest Walk or Swamp Walk. And like, okay, have fun. Still can't attack me now.
I hope you're packing an Elvish Champion, big boy.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Next, we have another Planeswalk here, Kato Dancing Shadow. 2, 1 blue, 1 black for a 3 loyalty Planeswalker. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you can return 1 to its owner's hand. It's Eon Frolicker, just so everyone knows. Eon Frolicker, so I can keep giving things away and giving protection. That's really funny. We can give it haste with Kenrith. It's great. It doesn't even need to. We can pretty easily get Eon Frolicker to give 2 extra people turns, Slothy an extra turn, Sherman an extra turn. I got protection from you both. It's great. It has a +1. So if you do, you can activate loyalty abilities of Kato twice rather than once, which is also wonderful. It has a +1 up to one target creature can't attack or block, which is stupid. We've already talked about that. It's got a 0 draw card, which is awesome. The fact that you can bounce creatures as well and get 2 of these off is wonderful. And then it has a -2, create a 2/2 colorless drone artifact creature token with Death Touch. And when it leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Also a pretty good attacker for its ability.
A great card. I love it.
Then we've got Live Decree. 1 and a white for a sorcery. Detain up to 2 target creatures your opponents control.
Boo. Boo. Stop with the detain. Stop it.
Stop, thief. You violated the law.
Law. I am the law. Goodness. Oh, how old is Judge Dredd? My goodness. We have the next card here. Mass Diminish. For 1 and a blue, sorcery. Until your next turn, creatures target player controls have base power and toughness 1/1. And it has flashback for 3 and a blue.
We're basically playing Maha at this point. Maha, but in blue. I like that one. The next one, it's like my favorite background of all the backgrounds. It's Noble Heritage. I put it in every deck that I can that likes things like this. 1 and a white. Commander creatures you own have, when this creature enters, and at the beginning of each your upkeep, each player can put 2/1/1 counters on a creature they control. For each opponent who does, you gain protection from that player until your next turn. And that's pretty easy to forget that I'm skipping my turns early on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, being able to have protection from them until my next turn is crazy. That can be the game. Because there's times I can just
Only
not
because-
take another turn.
Yeah. It's only because of you I've learned to say no to this.
You've got to take the deal. It's group hug adjacent, please. Please believe me.
Mhm.
Kenrith can draw cards. We have Attempt with Discovery. What more do you want in a group hug list? A Psychosis Crawler?
There's a certain Colonial Hydra I'm thinking of right now, actually.
Right? That would have made more
next
sense.
up, it actually would have. But next up, we've got Orzhov Advocist. 2 and a white for a 1/4 human advisor. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player may put 2+1/+1 counters on a creature they control. If a player does, creatures that player controls can attack you or planeswalkers you control until your next turn.
Yeah.
Once again, boo.
Take the deal, please. I told you it was in the list, Slothy.
You did, and I'm proud of you for it.
Okay. We have here is a Perch Protection for 4 double white instant. Gift an extra turn. And you create 4 2/2 bluebirds creature tokens with flying. If the gift was promised, all permanents you control phase out. And until your next turn, your life total can't change and you gain protection from everything. And you X out a Perch of Protection.
That does exactly what we want. It gives a turn away. It protects us. Makes us birds.
Yeah.
I love it. It's such a cool card. I'm shocked that it's still so cheap.
Yeah.
It was like, like people are afraid of giving an extra turn out, right?
It's like a budget Teferi's Protection, a little more expensive and stuff, but I love the politics of giving that extra turn away. There's so many people. A deck like this is really fun because you have so many players that if I only had one more turn, I would have won. All right, here it is. Here's your extra turn. Show me.
Yep.
Prove it.
Show me that you can.
Kill me. Strike me down. We have a Reflector Mage. 1 white, 1 blue for a 2/3 human wizard. When it enters, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. That creature's owner can't cast spells with the same name as that creature until your next turn. Rough.
So with these kind of spells, how mean do you typically be with them?
Oh, I'm hitting commanders for sure.
You're naming. Okay.
I'm hitting commanders for sure. Every time. Whoever has wronged me in this game or any game in the past 3 weeks, commander. Right at their commander.
Oh, I love it.
I'm a simple man.
Next up, we've got Single Combat. 3 double white for sorcery. Each player chooses a creature or planeswalker they control, then sacrifices the rest. Players can't cast creature or planeswalker spells until the end of your next turn.
This is such an annoying card in this deck. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Yeah.
We were playing with Emery, and Emery's good friends with the Rogue's Passage, as she's on that on all the time. And I hit Emery with the Single Combat, and she kept not being able to cast any creatures. And she'd be like, "Okay, I'll cast this," and I'd be like, it's not my turn yet."
Yeah.
That's a brutal card. I love it so much.
We will put that episode, because we recorded that one. We will put that episode in the show notes here.
Oh, I do have one of these as a recorded one. I don't think anyone liked that game. Well, the deck list is in the other one. Single combat is it's a crazy good one, and it does go into that board wipe style we've been talking about of sacrifice over destroy. Sacrifice you can't get around. It's so brutal.
Yeah. Gets around the indestructibility, which is becoming a bigger problem every single time.
Yep.
So, all right. This next card we have here is Savitri, Dragon Master, for 2 and a blue and a black. Legendary Planeswalker. Comes in with 4 loyalty, +1. Until your next turn, creatures can't attack you or planeswalkers you control, unless their controller pays 2 life for each of those creatures. Ouch. For our -3, search your library for a dragon card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And then -7, destroy all non-dragon creatures. And this planeswalker can be your commander.
Honestly, I have a Savitri, and it's the only place I've ever put one. I think that these are not good colors for a dragon deck.
I've got a full Savitri deck as well. And it's
interesting. I've never seen it.
No, I don't bust it out too often because, like you said, it's kind of a work in progress.
Yeah. Again, if
Dragons is weird.
If this had red, if it was Grixis, this would be a crazy commander. It'd be so fun. Mm-hmm. The dragon tutor, but a dragon that doesn't include red is because that's where most of the good dragons are, right? There's a few in green, but I guess you do changeling, but I don't know. Oh, it's me next. Spectacular Showdown is 1 in red. This is another card that could backfire pretty horribly if you keep having no turn. You put a double strike counter on target creature, then goad each creature that a double strike counter put on it this way, and then you overload it for 4 triple red. So you goad everything, and everything now has double strike.
Ouch.
Yeah, that can be a problem. You're probably going to die to that, but a lot of this deck is about coming in second place, I think. That goad's going to kill you.
True.
We've got the Tax Collector card I don't like just based off the name. 1 and white for 2/2 Human Advisor. When Tax Collector enters the battlefield, choose 1. You can tax until your next turn, spells your opponent's cast 1 more, or arrest. Detain target creature an opponent controls.
Double options for until our next turn things, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, so nasty. Oh no, not this planeswalker. This planeswalker is so annoying. You have Teo, Geometric Tactician, for 2 and a white. Legendary Planeswalker, comes in with 3 loyalty. When Teo enters the battlefield, create a 0/4 white wall creature token with Defender and Flying. That's not the big issue here. So, +1, you and target opponent each draw a card, which is nice. The -2 is annoying though. -2, choose left or right. Until your next turn, each player may attack only the nearest opponent in the last chosen direction, and planeswalkers controlled by that opponent. I hate that so much.
It's such good protection, though.
I hate it so much. It's like playing against what was the commander that does that? The stupid wall.
Pramicon.
Yeah.
I
love Pramicon. Pramicon's cool. This is technically Group Hug. By all metrics, this is Group Hug.
Just because it says you and then someone else draws, but you don't choose it, doesn't make it a Group Hug card.
It has the option to be Group Hug adjacent.
It's mostly Group Hug.
Right.
That's also
I call shenanigans.
That's fair. It's also a great defender. A 0/4 with Defender and Flying is an awesome token to come in at 3.
It's true. It is.
Definitely, yeah.
Because the 4 is what matters. If it was a 0/3, it wouldn't be as good, right? Because 3 is easy. 4 is just pushing it just a little bit more.
4 is a big booty to try get through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that one, the difference between 3 and 4 is actually quite a bit when you actually do the math and you look at all the creatures.
Well, the other nice thing too is that our commander can pump out so many 1/1s, right? So this does just make us a huge flying blocker eventually if we need.
Oh, yeah, that's annoying too.
We have the Stasis Coffin, 3 mana. Again, a nice, very cheap piece, 49 cents. You pay 2 mana, exile the Stasis Coffin. You gain protection from everything until your next turn.
Oh my goodness!
No one will target me with anything.
Then we've got Treasure Nabber. 2 and a red for a 3/2 Goblin Rogue. Whenever an opponent taps an artifact for mana, gain control of that artifact until the end of your next turn.
I'll be honest, that one might not be Group Hug.
It's Group Hug. You're just holding on to their things for them.
Technically, it's not so bad because you're not sacrificing the artifacts, so people tend to let it go. The moment you start sacrificing the artifacts, that's when people get salty.
Well, the big issue with this, though, is that I'm trying to not take a turn, right? So you lose your Soul Ring indefinitely, basically.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
You're just taking their mana.
Yeah, they don't know that until you start playing this deck, and then you start skipping their turns, and then they're like, okay, this is a salty card. Until then, they don't see a problem with this.
Technically, they're Group Hugging me.
Yeah.
That's true.
We have finally arrived to our last card here that I know of, unless there's another category that we didn't cover.
I think this is it.
Okay, this is the last card that we have right now. So we have Will Kenrith for 4 double blue. Legendary Planeswalker Will comes in with 4 loyalty. 4+2 until your next turn. Up to 2 target creatures, each have base power and toughness 0/3 and lose all abilities. For a -2, target player draws 2 cards. Until your next turn, instants, sorceries, and planeswalker spells that player casts cost 2 less to cast. And for the -8, target player gains an emblem with whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. It partners with Rowan, and it can be your commander.
Yeah. I just really like this. It fetches Rowan out, which is nice for us. But both of those minus abilities are pretty great.
Yeah. I used to have a Rowan and Will Planeswalker Kenrith deck. I called it Twinsies because every single spell was had a polar, not opposite, but like a twin with it. So like Prodigal Sorcerer and Pyromancer Sorcerer.
That's cool.
Stuff like that. It was a hard deck to play.
Yeah. So I've got to ask, what do you guys think of my...
Hate it.
You don't mean it, please.
I played against this before. It's so annoying.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. You can make people lose by force drawing them with Kenrith too if you have enough mana.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. But yeah, Slothy, what's your thoughts?
If you are the one piloting it, I can see it being interesting. If you're against it, I can see it being ridiculously frustrating. But all in all, I think it's... I think for the person playing it, it looks like it's a fun deck.
Yeah. For whoever is playing this deck, in all honesty, they have a great time because you just all you do is sit there and you just remind them, nope, you can't do that. I haven't taken my turn yet. Nope. We haven't reached my turn yet. You can't play that. Nope, you can't cast that. Nope, you don't get this back. It is so annoying. Once again, we're going to throw that video in the description. Check it out. You can see, Emery gets so annoyed from that single combat. Because she's like, oh yeah, I can't cast this. I'll try to cast. No, I can't cast it because you're stupid. It happens every single time. People forget because it's just like, Daniel, did you take your turn yet? Or did we get to your turn? No?
I'm just over here on Clash of Clans.
Yeah, I have like 30 cards in my hand. I can't cast a single spell. I hate you.
There's I'll put both versions of the deck in. Like I said, I don't think it's super fun to include the other one. The other one has stuff like a Mana Vortex. So Mana Vortex is 1 double blue. Each player who controls a land sacks a land during their upkeep. If at any time there's no lands in play, Mana Vortex is destroyed. If you don't sack a land when it's cast, it's countered. But we're never taking a turn, right? So we throw 1 land away. We have all the slaughter packs, like those kind of packs in the deck, the 0 cost effect ones. Intervention pack, Pact of Negation, because again, we're not getting to our turn. We don't care about that cost, right?
Yeah.
The real version of the deck has a reality twist, which is Cancer. It's triple blue, has cumulative upkeep, which again, we don't care about at all. Instead of their normal mana, plains produce mountains, swamps produce forests, mountains produce plains, and forests produce swamps.
Yeah, so everything just produces a different color. It's just annoying.
Yeah, the like I said, another great card in the real list is Burgeoning. If you can upgrade this list with a Burgeoning, it's great because we're not taking a turn, and that's one way to actually get our lands in.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like I said, both will be in the list here. Like I forgot actually that we had played that one, so there'll also be a video to if you guys want to see how happy I get being annoying, this is the best example of it, because I'm pretty frustrating with this deck.
Yeah. 100%. Totally.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the list. Do you like your friends? If so, maybe don't build as one. But what I think at least is I like building unique concepts with decks, right? And this is going to be a concept you don't really see very often. I've never seen anyone build something similar. So
yeah, I'll definitely say like this is a very, very, very unique take on extra turns, because you're giving people extra turns. You're not the one that's doing it. It's
it's just an interesting deck, right? Like it's not one I play all the time, but it's one of my, I call it all the time my masterpiece deck, because I'm just so proud of like how stupid the deck is. It's got like so many dumb effects. There's so many, like you're abusing a bunch of effects that weren't meant to be used that way, right? Usually it's to buy you a turn, not 13 turns of someone not being able to cast because of single combat. Not like 10 turns of I've skipped my turn with I skipped my turn and now there's Hope of Juniper, so you guys can't cast non-creature spells, right? Like there's some really, really frustrating stuff into it. And I play with a lot of people who play very toolboxy, right? Like Sherman plays very toolboxy. Sherman has an answer for everything. But if Sherman can't cast those answers, what's he doing, right? It's like I said, it's a unique deck. So I'd love to know what people think about it and everything. Like I said, don't even look at the expensive list. Again, go over to Abyss Proxy Shop. They are great. But there's one of the cards in it is Tabernacle. Tabernacle's really expensive. It's like a few $1,000s right now. And again, I would never buy a Tabernacle for a list that no one's going to play, but I have a Tabernacle, so that's why it's in this deck. But you could also just go to Abyss Proxy Shop, get that card for like $1. Tell them we sent you with the promo code IT99.
I think you also have things like Moat in there and whatnot.
Oh, probably annoying things. Yeah, it's a pretty obnoxious list. I've got the Glacial Chasm so that I can't attack all damage dealt to me is 0.
So annoying. Like seriously, this is coming from, like you said, like a player that like I normally play with, like having answers for things and playing to the meta of the group and everything. And this is hard to go against. It's very, very, very difficult. I have a hard time going against this. I have no answers. I literally have no answers against this deck. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's my silly deck.
Oh, it's silly, all right.
I love doing the play tester and seeing kind of what I would get in the first few turns. It's nice. But yeah, that's it. That's the deck. I run the credits now. Where I'm on too many painkillers, as always. There we go. Thank you guys. If you liked this episode, like, share, subscribe. It really does help out. Join us over on Patreon. It's a great spot to talk about brewing decks and seeing the different kind of things we brew. There's going to be another live brew coming up. Thunder and I are doing some more of the Calamity Beasts, which is really fun. I think we're doing Biza, so that'll be really good. I'm excited to see Thunder's take on Biza, because not everything can be group hug, right? This deck, not as group hug as you would think. But come over to brew decks with us. It's a fun time. It really does help out. If there's any expensive cards in this list that you want to get, Abyss Proxy Shop's the best way. Sleeve these decks up, as always, in the AI Armor sleeves. They're pretty great. It's if you're going to make your friends mad, at least make your deck look nice while you're doing it, right? Go over to AI Armor sleeves. That's it. That should be their new promo. We have a link in our bio, but even if you don't use that link, just go over and support them. They're great. They deserve great things. Good company. That's it. That's it. It's a dumb deck.
Yeah, it's a dumb deck. I say, in all honesty, try it out. Just like proxy the whole deck if you want and try it out. It is really, really, really interesting to play. And I'm more certain your playgroup would be like, what the heck, and just be like shocked and awed at how it plays.
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically the gist. Like I said, I'll have all of those. I'll have a video. There's not always I have too many decks, right? So there's not always a video of it. So it'll be cool. Tell me what you think, because the people we played with are very fun to play with, and they were great sports about it. That's
All
it.
right, later.